She's Pusha President. We have tonight Rav Elbas, Tolgezinzan, She's Rabunam. It's a very sensitive issue that we will address tonight, but it's very crucial and has to be spoken about. This week is Parshas Vayikra, so I thought that Mamish select in the Parsha. The first thing we teach our kids is why Vayikra has a kleine aleph. So I thought that we're going to talk about this issue of the gap from our teens. It starts when the kids are small, and it's mamish appropriate this week's parsha. The parsha, I thought it might be that the reason why there is a small aleph is because the verse says aleph is anoichi. Anoichi Hashem Elokecha. Vayikru steht also another time where it's brought down the Indian from Vayikru. It's steht when Yaakov Avini called his kids, called the Shifte Koch, Heilige Shvutam, he called them together. It says, Hey Osvi v'gido lechem es asher yikra eschem b'achar sayomim. Asher yikra eschem is the touch, what's what's the happenings that's going to happen. Leert men als de Kuro had nog een loschen van happenings. Is ken zaan als de pshat is. Yeah.
To read. Mama, you can see it. You can read.
You can read, but it means that it's going to happen. Sachen was going to change. Rashi says, Bikesh Yankov. Yeah. Same concept. Yeah. Rashi zoekt as he wanted to say when the Yechiel is on, take more mind happenings. Is the pshat is also is in what sometimes we are faced in a situation where it looks like it's dark. It's dark. We don't see, as they say, we can't imagine the light at the end of the tunnel. We have to remember that there's a small anoichi hidden somewhere. We have to remember that Hashem is over there. The Gemara zoekt in Masechtas Psuchim. The Mishnah says over there about the Manishtan, so the Gemara and Daf Kifta Zion. Kana ben Shoel Uviv, V'im ein das, Uviv Melamde. As the child asks the questions, the few kashas, and if the child doesn't know how to say it, the father teaches him. We see from them that we always, we're talking about the gap that we have and the chiyuv from the parents. We'll start first with the chiyuv of the parents, and then we'll move it on. There was a story that I saw brought down, the story of the Heilige Aliyah Kodesh. He was living in the area of Mitzrayim, and one day he had a dream. He had a dream that he should go up to Tzfas, to Eretz Yisrael and Tzfas, and he should find over there Heilige Reb Chaim Vital, and he should teach him Torah because his time is getting closer, and he has to give over all the Soidas HaTorah, Mevays the Aliyah Kodesh, the Mula Begudish, Sisrai Torah. You should give it over to him, and he's going to be his successor. He picked himself up, he went up to Tzfas, and he found the Chaim Vital. He was much older than him, and he was sitting and learning in the Medrash. He didn't go over to him. The Heilige Aliyah Kodesh did not approach him. He just sat down in the Medrash also to learn the Medrash. And he was sitting and learning night after night, and he did not approach Reb Chaim Vital. His tafkid was to go teach his Torah. He didn't, after a long period, around 6 months, One day, Chaim Vital was sitting and learning. He had no idea about that the Ariya Kodesh came up because of him. And he was sitting and learning. He was learning Zohar, and all of a sudden he had a chiddush, and he jumped up. He was so excited that a tremendous chiddush he had, and he was looking around. He wanted to find someone to share it with. And he noticed the Heilige Ariya Kodesh is in the land. So the Ariya Kodesh he went over to the Ariya Kodesh, and the Ariya Kodesh figured that now is the time. It's an opportunity, and so he listened to him, and he told him Sister Torah on that pshat that Reb Chaim Vital told him, and he gave him pshatim, one after the other. And Reb Chaim Vital was shocked to hear that, not only that he was amazed by his pshat, and he gave it to him, and they clicked. He gave it to him, pshutim, and in the middle he stopped and he said, Atkan, I don't have permission anymore to give you more service. So the Chaim Vital was very broken. He had a große Talmud Chochem, and he doesn't have permission to accept. He says, I don't have the shis from Himmel to give you more pshutim. So the Chaim Vital went home and he sat down on the floor with a zak and ash, and had geweint, gedankt zum Eibischen, dass he should be ruah to be able to absorb more Torah from the Heilige Ariya Kodesh. He didn't know exactly who he is, but he saw that as a good ladar. The next day he came back to the Heilige Ariya Kodesh, and he told him, and they spoke, and then the Ariya Kodesh said, the sack and the ash did the job. I got permission, I can tell you. And he told him a lot of Chiddushei Torah, a lot of pshutim, and that's how the Talmud Shaft, the Chavrusa Shaft started, and then he became the Talmud, and it verspreid the Torah from the Heilige Ariya Kodesh. What we see from this is, sometimes we want to teach our children, we want to give them, we want to tell them what to do, we want to be mechanech them, and we are passionate about it, and that's the way it should be. But sometimes we have to know that anoichi, in everything there's an anoichi. Maybe it's not the proper time yet, and maybe that's not his tafkid. We don't know. We don't know in what area this child is going to shine. A lot of times, parents push a certain thing, and the child grows in another area. I know a lot of people that the parents pushed them to do a certain thing, and they grew up to be a godel, but in other area. And this is what it is. We never know what the child is set up to be. Hashem is the one who instills in us our capabilities. Hashem is the one who instills in our children their capabilities. We always have to. This is a very thin line. We have to remember, what is my job as a parent? We're talking here to Rabbanim, but we're making, just giving food for thought. My Rebbe, the Tasha Rebbe, used to say, I'm talking to myself. I'm just saying it loud, everyone should hear. This is a zach that we always have to understand in depth in order to be able to give it over to the balabatim, to the olam. In English there's a saying, eyes on the prize. We have to remember that the tafkit and the goal that we have, that we don't know what's going to be. We just have to know that we should never make a plan how we want our kids to be. We have to be there to support them. They should be the best that they are capable of being. And from experience I saw, most of the times, if we take this approach, they surprise us and they grow up to be much stronger than we even expect. We have to understand that always every incident is an opportunity. A few months ago, I had the zechus that my Rosh Yeshiva, Zolzangezind, was spend the Shabbos by us. He came, he lives today's days in Bashemesh, and he came here to spend the Shabbos. And by the Seder Shabbos, he asked me, tell me, what was the highlight of the times that you spent in the yeshiva, and what can you tell me that was the one of the strong qualities that was when I was a yeshiva? What was the highlights that you can tell me about the relationship? I said to him, what's interesting is that I thought a lot about it, and I told him that when the yeshiva called me that he wants to come for Shabbos, I thought a lot since then. When he agreed, I thought a lot about the relationship, about the connection we had. And what's interesting is that the strongest rapport that he built it with his Talmidim was when he had to punish them when they got into trouble. He did it with such chachma and with such sensitivity and with such love that was the opportunity, and the strong opportunity where he got the Bocharim that he didn't get from the Shmisen. Not every Bocher is into Große Shmisen, and I know some of the Talmidim, my friends, that actually they got into trouble and they built a nice rapport with their yeshiva, and after that they were shining in the Shmisen and the Drushas as well. We never know how we can get them, how the connection is going to start. A very important point. I was once involved in a situation. It started out very disturbing. So there was a bocher 15 years old, and he was involved in things that a bocher should not be involved. And it came to a situation, the parents couldn't handle it, and it was a whole fight, and he ran out of the house. For the whole week, the parents did not know where he was, and didn't know anything. Askonim came, and we got involved, and I was talking to the boy, and I saw a Zisa Bucher, Schmacke Bucher, and he has Seichel, Abgeschwant, Yiddishkeit, and I asked him what's happening. He's like, I can't anymore. And the parents were pushing him to a certain side where he felt cornered. It was not his qualities. And so I sat down with the parents and I said that let's see what we can do. The parents were Chushe Yidden, fine Yidden, but they meant very good. But we are not equipped. We we don't understand. People always try to blame the parents. We try our best. So we made a meeting that we're going to talk the parents and the boy. For the meeting, the mother tells me, you know what? I'm ready to meet him. And before we met, I sat down with the parents before I called in the boy, and I said, let's review what's going to happen here. I didn't want to be faced with fireworks. So they tell me, the mother tells me, and she tells me, I'm willing that he should come back, and I want that he should come back, I want him to live, but I have conditions. And she starts giving me a list of conditions that she wants to basically make an agreement before that. And then she's masking everything should be. So I said to her, I spoke with the boy previously, I knew that this is not going to work, this is not reality, this is just not going to happen. So I said to the mother, let me tell you something. I was in an office over there, so I opened up a page, a web page from an organization which it's a besmedish, I don't want to mention the name, that they are created to help people. The face of the organization is education, but what they do is they help people to be comfortable and to basically to go off the path. And I said, look, at this, so I showed the mother and I said, look, they don't have any conditions. Baruch Hashem, his son doesn't know about them yet, but It's public information. Very soon he can find out. They don't have any conditions. They're standing there, ausgespreite armes, welcoming everyone that comes to their door. I understand it's painful, but we have to be there for the kids. And we spoke about it, and we modified the list. And of course, and Baruch Hashem, I can say one thing. This Bucher, today's days, he started a job, and he's the highest that he can grow in his job. He's managing 30, 40 employees under him. He keeps Shabbos, and there's room to grow still by everyone. But as a Masuda de Gebocher and Mamish Sanachas to kick off him, because the parents accepted him, and they had patience, and they worked with him. We zoekt van Kotsker, we zoekt in Krishna steht dort, wo dworen weile as neuchem Zaves gaan, dan zoekt man alle bewegen. Also liken die alle divre teures, maar liken alle bewegen. Fragt sich the Kasha, why doesn't it say bilvu vegel? Why alle vegel? Because sometimes the heart is still closed. It's good. There will come a time when the heart it will open, and then everything that you put all the years will fall out. That's what we have to keep in mind. The parents have to know that we have to open, we have to put, and be mispawel for the day that will come, that everything is going to fall in. I heard a story, and I heard, someone told me that it's from the Baal Tanya. I did not verify it, but the story is amazing. There was once, I heard that it's from the Baal Tanya, so I'm going to say it b'shmoi, but I'm not sure. He came one day in, and he saw that one of the Eniklich did something, and he started to give that he didn't, that he felt that it's not appropriate. So he gave him misser, a ganze misser shmiz, hij toch ging je dat, en het malavish gwein, a shine misser drusha, bededig misser. And he finished, the Enikl turned around and he said, Zaidi, I just want you to know that I didn't do it. So he's like, why didn't you stop me? I gave you a lange shmiz. Why didn't you stop me? So he said, it's a shoot as a shine misser shmiz zu verpassen. We see from that.
So what did he stop my Rabbi? They want to hear the shmuz.
Oh, yeah, exactly. As a shine shmiz is a shoot gewinnt zu verpassen. We have to know that everything that happens is an opportunity. Sometimes you will hear from a lot of educators, a lot of mechanchen will tell you medaf zan nice to the kinder medaf. But one thing I want to say is that medaf ook gedenken, sometimes we have to put our foot down. Sometimes it's an opportunity to show our kids that we can nicht doen wat we willen, aber we daar genoeg. I'll move to the closure. There was once a story. One of the Talmidim. A person called me once up, and he said that someone calls me on the phone, screaming and yelling that he doesn't know what to do. His son is mamish out of control, and it's just terrible. And I'm like, calm down. What's going on? What can we do how can I help you? He says that my son, you know what he did? He comes to me and he asks me money. He wants to go to the movies. I should give him. So I said to him, first I calmed him down, beruhig dich. What's going on? What's the story with your son and how? And he tells me he's going through a hard time, and he in the yeshiva is not matzliach and those. So I said, what I see between the lines is that you're asking a halucha de geshayla. So the halucha for Messiah ledvara weide. The halucha de geshayla. The shayla is if you are allowed to give money to your son to do something that's not halachically correct. To go to the movies at Chanaveda, and if he makes the guy. So you're asking halacha de geshaila. So what's the panic? Let's calm down. Stop the panic. And let's talk. Let's see. Halacha de geshaila. Halacha is no, you're not allowed to be a Messiah. How can you do it? So I said, Pastor de Chiyuv and Chinuch. So maybe it would be a good idea. We went into a long conversation, but I'm just going to take out the points. Maybe it would be a good idea to tell your son, you will the $10. Okay, you have $10. Go get yourself an ice cream. Go buy yourself a treat. I cannot buy you something that's not that's in gehalten. And he understood it, and I said, this is the approach that you should take. We cannot. The problems happen when we get hysterical and we feel that we're losing it. I was a manal for a few years. I remember one day there was a malamed. He was hysterical, and I asked him what's going on. He's like, I'm losing it. I said to him, that's the problem. You're not losing it. Yeah, you have a challenged kid. Work with him. He's not going to ruin your reputation. We should not look at like I'm a failure. What kind of father am I? We have to know that we do our job as a father, as a mechanech, as a roof, as everyone in whichever area he is, as kunam. Whatever you do it's not you. We have to remember that we have a tough kid. We have to keep our eyes on the prize. And there was once a maggid. I'll finish with one more story. There was once a maggid that he came to a shtetl, and they were over there. There was gezocht a drusha, feierdige drusha mit scheine mit drusham, and it was unbelievable. And he in the middle of the drusha, one of the people over there starts, tells him in surprise, he says, I don't understand. You came here because you want to make money. You're giving a drusha because you're getting paid. And you're making us cry. You only came, you don't mean the Torah and all the things that you just say. You just mean the Torah. He said, I'll answer you with the mushal. There was once a tightrope walker. He walked on a rope. And someone told him, why are you doing it? He wants to sell tickets, he wants to make money. But the question is, when he walks on the rope, what is he thinking? He's thinking of balancing. If he thinks about the money while he's walking, he's going to fall down. We have to remember that's life, that's chinuch, that's everything. This is how we have to live. We have to denken that every time, everything what we do is an opportunity, and everything we do, keep on the prize. Mahatzatin with the future generations, the generations of Klal Yisrael. That we denken that we can't afford it. It's now a very, very crucial time in Klal Yisrael. And Eibsh is a help from as this chis was mekimt and meheert, and we try our best to learn and to educate. And this chis from the Rabunam that we go out and we educate others. Dem ze chis zal de Eibsh zijn voor koiches malaik teraan, zich jetzt de nissen, de nissen legali, de nissen asiden legul. En I've zelf moeten kunnen zeggen zijn bekoerd ze de gele slang in mijn
Rabbi Malik.